Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about reflections. Um, a reflection is a transformation that moves points by flipping them over a line called the line of reflection. So in this picture, this is my original image. This is my image after. So this is my pre-image. This is my image. It's flipping over this line. Okay, this is the line of reflection. The figure shows the reflection. I just explained that. Here are the rules. Now, these are something you are going to have to memorize, so this is important. The first is a reflection over the x-axis, just the y value changes. So what they're saying is it goes from this to this. Okay, from here to there. Okay, there would probably make more sense. From there to there. Okay, so it goes from a regular point, whatever the point is, and all you change is you make that y value negative. So a reflection over the x-axis, here's a graph. If I have this shape, a reflection over the x-axis would look like that. Okay, it flips right over it. A reflection over the y-axis, we just change the value of the x, we make it a negative. If it's already a negative, we would just change the sign to a positive. Okay, so this one we change sign of y value. For this one, we change sign of x value. For this one, we flip the points. So it goes from xy, flip it around to yx. Now a reflection over the y-axis would look something like this. If I had this shape, it would flip over to look like that. This one's a reflection over the line y equals x. This is throwing it back to algebra 1. This is the line y equals x. The next one is actually the line y equals negative x. So it's just when your slope is -1 or 1 and your y-intercept is 0. That simple, basic linear equation. So when we flip over the line y equals x, it could look something like this. And this is almost the same thing. It's just the opposite line. Okay. This one, we flip the points. For this one, we flip the points and change the signs. Notice I'm saying change signs instead of make negative, because if we start with a negative, we'd have to change that sign to a positive. The last one is when we reflect across a line of x equals a specific number or y equals a specific number. This is the only one where we don't really have a rule. We just have to graph our line and then count the units to the line. This will be a little easier for me to show you in an example. So let's start to see what this would look like. If I reflect KLM over the y-axis, okay, so here's K, here's L, here's M. I want to flip it over the y-axis. That rule means I'm going to take these points. I'm going to write my points down. And then I am going to change them from xy to, if I'm flipping over the y-axis, I want to change that to negative xy. So I'm just going to change the sign of the x values. So point L is at 1, 3. So when I flip that, my L prime, my new L, is going to be -1, 3. K is at -3, 5. So I'm going to change for K prime. I'm changing the sign of that -3. So it's going to be 3. And that 5 stays the same. For M, I'm at -5, 1. So once again, my M prime, that's going to change to a +5. So now I'm going to go ahead and graph these. So K prime is 3, 5. L prime is -1, 3. You'll notice sometimes they do kind of intersect each other a little bit. And lastly, I have 5, 1 is my M prime. And then I just do the same thing like we did with translations. And you'll see now that this shape is just flipped over that x-axis. So this is that line of reflection, and it's flipped right over. I always, like I told you, I like to shade this one in because it's my image. my final product. Okay. Now this one over here, we're reflecting KLM over the line y equals x. This is that line y equals x. That's the line of reflection. Okay. So what they want us to do here, and these are the same K through KLM points. Okay, this is the same shape. So I'm going to, over here, put my K prime, L prime, and M prime, just for sake of space. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going from XY to, this is a reflection over Y equals X. So I am flipping the points. So I'm going from XY to YX. I'm not changing any signs, just flipping the points. So -3, 5 would change to 5, -3. 1, 3 would change to 3, 1. And -5, 1 would change to 1, -5. And now I'm just going to go ahead and plot those points. So 5, -3, my K prime. 3, 1 is my L prime. My M prime is 1, -5. And then I'm just going to plot those points, make my shape, and then shade it in. And you should see that the shape stays the same size, and I'm just flipping it over that line of reflection. Okay, I do want to get to this one. This one is that specific, it's this bottom one here where we're flipping over a specific line. First thing you have to do is graph that line. So the line y equals 1, to graph that, we just go to the y-axis where we have 1, and we just draw a horizontal line. Okay? If y equals a number, we have a horizontal line. If x equals a number, we have a vertical line. That's important to remember from Algebra 1. So this is my line of reflection. This is the line I'm flipping things over. You'll notice that M is on the line of reflection. If a point is on the line of reflection, that means its new point, M prime, is going to stay there. So I don't need to change. I don't need to move M at all. It's already there. So the M prime is the same point. Okay. L, however, I'm going to count the spaces from L to that line of reflection. I go 2 spaces to it. So I'm going to go 2 spaces in the other direction, and that's going to be my L prime. Same thing with K. To get from K to the line of reflection, I go 2, 4. So I'm going to go 4 in the other direction. 2, 4. And that's going to be my K prime. And then I connect my dots, this K prime, L prime, and M prime. Shade it in, and it is simply reflected over this line. Okay? I'm going to skip this one here just so I have time to get to the back where we are writing our rule. So identify the equation of the line of reflection. So basically they're asking what's the rule? Are we flipping over the y-axis? What line is the line of reflection here? So you want to look at what's between. So here's my B and here's my B prime. What's between them? So if I go 3 spaces here and then 3 spaces here, right in the middle would be here. Okay, this is a vertical line. It's going through x equals 1. So your equation of this line would be x equals 1. That's what they're flipping over. Here, it looks like this line is directly in the middle. We can count spaces. There's 2 spaces here, 2 spaces there between my 2 L's. I don't need to really give an equation there. I just need to say that it's reflecting over the x-axis. Okay, that is the x-axis. If you had to give an equation, you could say it was y equals 0, but it's really flipping over that x-axis. The line of reflection here is a little trickier to see, but focus on one point. So here's S, here's S prime. I go 3 this way, 3 this way, that's not enough, so I'm going to go 4. That meets me right here in the middle. So that must be my line of reflection that I'm flipping over, okay? And that line goes right through 4 on my x-axis. So that would be x equals 4. No y equals so far, but we did just do one. Then right here, you should be able to see that these are flipping over this line. Okay, it's going from here to here. And this is that line y equals -x. Remember, if it was positive x, it would be going the other direction. Okay, Really quickly, I think I do have time to go over this one quickly. Y equals negative x means we're flipping the points and changing the sign. So remember, if your k is negative 3, 5, my new k, I'm flipping the points and changing the sign. So I'm flipping them to 5. 3 is going to change to a positive 3. This will change to a negative 3. So my new one should be negative 5, positive 3. That's my k prime. Oops, sorry, I'm not even showing what I'm doing. My L is 1, 3 originally, so my L prime is going to switch to 3, 1, and then they're both going to change signs. So negative 3, negative 1. And then lastly, my M is negative 5, 1. My M prime is going to switch to negative 1, 5. So I'm flipping them and switching signs. Negative 1, 5. And this is really crazy looking because the shape is super close to each other because that line y equals x is right here. So you can see that they do flip over, but it does overlap because of where the shape is. Okay, so this is reflections. Remember that the shape stays the same. Okay, we're just flipping it across the graph, across different lines of reflection. All right, have a great day, guys.